Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Nintendo Switch, August the 25th until the 29th. Let's take a look at what we've got this week. It's pretty good. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is releasing physically this week on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. Both of them proper physical releases. This is a remake of a DS game, and it's a pretty grand one too, looking gorgeous on the Switch 2 especially. I will have a video about this later today. Please look out for that. It is one of the more addictive Story of Season games that I've played. I ain't gonna claim to have played them all, but this has a really nice balance, and the Bazaar gimmick adds a fun tension to the gameplay. I am really enjoying it. There is a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which makes this the very first Nintendo Switch 2 collector's edition available, and it includes a soundtrack CD, an art book, a cloth poster, and a sheep plushie, because of course it does. As I said, this is a proper Switch 2 cartridge, marvelous of being absolute chads in the early life of the Switch 2, so hopefully their risk is rewarded and fingers crossed it's successful, so they continue to support the Switch 2 with proper physical media, and it is a good game, so it deserves to anyway. And my executive producers Dave Huswaite, Feig, Azrath, and Goosebumps have chosen this as their pick of the week. Space Adventure Cobra The Awakening is releasing physically on the Switch, PS5, and in Europe they also have an Xbox physical. This is a nicely presented take on the old-ass but very charming anime. I've played this game for a couple of hours now, and I will also have a video for it, maybe on Tuesday. I don't know, it's not a high priority, just whenever there's a free spot, but that kind of tells you all you need to know as to why I'm not prioritizing it. Don't get me wrong, it can be a solid time, especially if you like Mega Man, but it is just a bit too jank. I appreciate what they're going for, and it is a hearty effort, but not something I can wholeheartedly recommend. Anyway, stay tuned for the full video, and my executive producers Jeddah Crow, Super Ben Julio, and Cartoon Soren have chosen this as their pick of the week. If you want it or any of the retail games in this video, please consider purchasing via the links in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps me out in this series to keep producing useful physical content for you guys. VGP are a really great company with cheap prices in Canadian buckage and free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian dollars, which is 54 American bucks. Plus, each week, if you buy something, you are put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Michael B. Congratulations, Michael. You should get an email from VGP with your discount coupon in the coming days. Date Everything is releasing this week, and I know a lot of people are hyped about this one. Doesn't seem like my kind of thing, but when it released digitally, it was massively popular, and I have no doubt the physical release will also be. The premise is in the title, Date Everything. There are 100 dateable objects in your house, obviously with the secret stash found under the bed being the most exciting, but hey, maybe you've always wanted to date a vacuum cleaner. Plenty of lonely men already do. Well, this will be the game to validate you. Sadly, they actually become humanoid, but whatever. Definitely an interesting and unique title for the modern gamer. And my executive producers, Lewis K. and Sora Katz, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Hello Kitty Island Adventure is releasing this week, and yes, you may very well be confused, and you have every right to be, but don't, because the previous release, if you search in the back of your noggin, it was the Deluxe Edition. This is not the Deluxe Edition. This is Hello Kitty Island Adventure Peasantry Edition. Do you sleep on the floor in a mud hut? Well, this is priced according to you. What the actual difference is aside from pricing, I'm just going to assume it includes less stuff. 100 Days Winemaking Simulator is releasing in Europe this week on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. This has you taking complete control over a brand new winery. Visuals are simple, but it appears to be surprisingly in-depth to a coma-inducing scale, which is great for those who love this sort of thing. And it's certainly unique. Choose the kind of vines, when to brew them, when to embarrass teenagers around the world when they see their mum absolutely rat-ass for the first time after a bottle of red. As I said, European only because North America still hasn't evolved to realize Budweiser tastes like bottled farts. You'll get there one day. 40 Sports Games in 1 is releasing in Europe this week, hot off the heels of 100 Games in 1. This is 40 Sports Games in 1. I didn't even know 40 sports existed. Do the Olympics know about this? They seem to only have running, a bit more running, jumping, and then the throwing something event. This could be a huge game changer if they could find out what the other 36 sports are. North America, you'll have to wait until a bit longer to get this physical release, probably because they need to cut it down to 5 sports games for you guys. Baseball, basketball, American football, ice hockey, and that other one you kinda like. Fruitbus is releasing this week physically. This is a culinary adventure that has you inheriting a food truck and you go on a road trip with the determination to give everyone heart disease and diabetes. Oh, my bad. You actually forage for fresh ingredients yourself, so you can give them salmonella instead. Or try to kill people with dodgy mushrooms. That always seems to work out well. Reviews for this one seem pretty positive. Goosebumps Terror in Little Creek is releasing this week. This game is being published by Game Mill Entertainment, which is actually scarier than the game itself. Game Mill, where gamers' hopes and dreams are grinded down to nothingness. Miraculous Rise of the Sphinx and Paris Under Siege Double Pack. A quick mention to this is a double pack of 2 games that already got individual physical releases, but Amazon, in America at least, this double pack is exclusive to them. Battle of Rebels. Is it really coming out this week after all those false promises and every shifted placeholder date? It could maybe finally be releasing this week. That would be wild. It now has a new subtitle apparently, multiplayer. Maybe that is the focus of the Switch version now, who knows? Expect jank third-person action as you fight off waves of zombies. Wait, zombies? Are zombies the rebels? How can zombies be rebellious? Actually, Zombie Rebels sounds like a badass band name. If I ever form a band during my incoming midlife crisis, I am definitely calling it Zombie Rebels. Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 Edition and Starcross World is releasing this week on Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo's big title for August is a re-release of a Switch game from 2022. But what a game it is! It's even more beautiful and hopefully packed with even more content. How much content? I don't know. I'd love it to be a whole new campaign, the same size as the original, but something is telling me it won't be. But either way, it's easy to get hyped about this because if you've played the original, you know how fun it is. Me and my daughter had a grand time playing co-op with this originally, and it is the Kirby game that inspired me to do a 6-hour retrospective review of every Kirby game on my retro channel. Good stuff. The game, not my retro channel. My executive producer, Instacritic, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Alright, the low print limited pre-orders. There's only one this week, at least so far. System Shock 2 25th Anniversary Remaster is up for pre-order right now at Limited Run Games. This is a remaster of a legendary game from what I'm told, and it does look fantastic. A cerebral, slow-burning FPS, a bit old school in its design, so combat may feel a bit dated, but it includes a narrative and design that puts modern games to shame. Speaking of shame, such a legendary game needing limited run, sad times. This should be at retail. If The Thing can be at retail, so can this. I will probably pick this up at some point in the future, if there is ever a retail release, but if you don't want to take a chance, you can pre-order it at Limited Run Games right now in a standard edition or full milkage editions on Switch and PlayStation 5. And my executive producers, Vast Neon, Radio to Rancid, Jake Vav, and Thorn Metal Luna have chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, the imports. Yes, if you want to import any of these games from Japan or Asia, you can do so via the links below. If you pre-order from PlayAsia, you can get 5% off with my code Jordan2025. Super Robot Wars Y is releasing this week. I am very much excited about this, even if I was surprised by the negativity in the preview video that I made. Some of the comments in there, I guess it's become more Western, so it's followed by more cynicism. Whatever, I'm a simple guy with simple tastes, and Super Robot Wars doesn't fail me. Yes, it's simple tactical RPGing, yes, it's story heavy, yes, the attack animations can be repetitive if you have ADHD, but I don't care. I love these games, and I'm very excited to add this one to my collection. The Japanese, Hong Kong, and Southeast Asian versions have English. Expect a massive, meaty 50-hour plus campaign with endless battles and story. This is getting a digital release on Western consoles finally, but the physical is an import exclusive. And my executive producers, Michael Del Polito, The Nemo 6, G Bautista 100, Robotech, God of Resin, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. VARLET is low-key going to be one of the biggest import surprises. I'm not saying it's a AAA game or anything, but it's extremely rare these days that something with a budget such as this stays an import exclusive. But it appears that Furyu, who are handling all the publishing themselves, are sticking with digital in the West. Not to worry, since the Japanese and Hong Kong physical releases do have English. There is a standard edition as well as a collector's edition available, and it's from the same people who made Caligula Effect, Monarch, Reinatis, and so on. It's a school life JRPG. Basically, they're trying to copy Atlas and Persona. Again, maybe they'll nail the landing this time, maybe it'll still be a B-tier release, but who knows? I, for one, am excited to give it a try. And my executive producers, Kaba Clavacol, Danielle O, Alexander Cato, Vey, Adamantium, D's Nuts, and Kevin W have chosen this as their pick of the week. Menhera Farm and Masarada Town Story. The double pack is releasing in Singapore this week with English. This is a game that I revealed, much to many people expecting me to reveal like the Silk Song physical or something with a bewildering lack of perspective. Anyways, one game in this is banned in North America. One game was yanked off the North American eShop for unknown reasons. So yeah, it's physical only in Southeast Asia. You get a doll raising simulator, a bit like Princess Maker type thing. Quite dark humor in there, but there's also a quaint action RPG. Nothing to get overly hyped about, but still worth it if you like something different. There is no safe for work content in these games. There never has been, so don't expect that, okay? Is releasing in Japan this week, and this is a gorgeous looking adventure type game. I love the fact that they made their game pretty much unsearchable. That takes some real effort. At least in the West, it is much more searchable with the Japanese name. It's got hand-drawn art and animation. It is short but with multiple endings that you need to get the true ending. There's not much in terms of gameplay, but that's not the main point. It's coming in a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which includes a soundtrack CD, picture card set, and a comic of something, and the game does have English. And my executive producers, Old Man Murphy and Nerdy Sean, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Shinobi, Art of Vengeance is releasing in Japan this week with English. However, neither Play Asia or Video Games Plus are allowed to sell it. The former were forced to refund those who pre-ordered it, and Video Games Plus, well, they are trying to honor as many pre-orders as they possibly can, but they are being hamstrung by it. And on Monday, so at the time of like me releasing this video, they will know for sure what's gonna happen. But it seems that someone, either at Limited Run Games or Sega, decided they desperately needed to keep these more affordable, more readily available versions away from North Americans and Europeans. You guys are not allowed this one, okay? And it's even worse for Europeans because if you want it, you have to import it from North America from Limited Run. And that's an added expense for a more expensive version, because in Europe, they only have a code-in-a-box bullshit on Nintendo Switch. How do you feel being denied the opportunity to grab the Japanese copy by people in North America? Does that make you feel good? I tell ya, while not many people care, it is this kind of gatekeeping that annoys me irrationally. It is snidey business. Instead of providing a good, competitive product, you just want to eliminate the alternatives. And also that like $50 that I probably earned from VGP, the pre-orders for this game, that's probably going to get taken away from me. One may assume that could annoy me. I don't know if it's $50, I really have no idea. Probably though. Anyways, this game is part of the Year of the Ninja celebrations. There's a demo out there if you want to sample it yourself. And my executive producers, Punky Dooster and Ishin, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Telenet's Shooting Collection 2 is releasing in Japan this week. There is no English, but it is a bunch of shooters and therefore not necessary. Although you may want to wait and see if Limited Run do a poorly translated English version like they did with the first collection. I don't think that sold too well, so who knows. You get 4 games, a couple of shmups, a couple of run and guns that were probably quite obscure even back in the day. I mean, not that many people owned a PC Engine CD, which is where these games were released. I think Telenet were more known for their production value rather than gameplay strengths. You know, they often had animated cutscenes, voice acting, and great music, which, if you take them away, you end up with a, solid if unremarkable game. But who am I to judge? I haven't played them. My executive producer, Dave Horworth, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Japan and Asia are getting these releases. The top 2 we have already, and the others do not have English. Alright, let's jump into the community spotlight. Twig E sent in this photo, which includes the limited run edition of Animal Well. I can understand why some people may feel burned out on that, considering it just got announced for a retail release. Some people even annoyed at me for it. That's a bit unfair. Treat sent in this photo. My Neo Geo releases should be here any day now. I decided to get 3 to 6 together to save on postage, and I am very excited to add them to my collection. Executive producer Super Ben Julio sent in this photo with Rendering Ranger from Ziggurat, a company I really like what they're going for. I just wish they weren't so much in bed with limited run. Starvey sent in this photo with Nico Derico. I cannot get over that name nor the character design, but I'm told it is an excellent game if you want some rare style platforming. Lucky the Pirate sent in this photo, proving that the standard edition of Worms Armageddon did actually release. I don't know how or why Team 17 found it so difficult to get their biggest franchise out physically with constant delays. Executive producer Lewis K sent in this photo with Corpse Party, very much in demand it seems. It sold out at VGP, PNP and Play Asia, everywhere. Executive producer Kevin W sent in a VN flavored photo with 3 recent-ish examples of the genre, with the gorgeous looking cover art for Iwakura Aria. Cat Killad sent in this photo with some shmups, and Abathor, which is a European exclusive release. People keep asking me, or maybe it's one dude who keeps asking me, when am I gonna do a European exclusives video? I kinda want to, but there are just so many these days. Executive producer Instacritic sent in this photo. Broken Sword, that deluxe edition. The cover art, oh my god, it gives me so many waves of nostalgia, adding fuel to my incoming midlife crisis as it takes me back to my weekends at my dad's with the PS1 version of that game. Executive producer G Bautista 100 sent in this photo with another triple helping of VN goodness. Although MEO is more of an adventure game for sure, but still one with great production value. Interesting to see Nintendo get into that genre again. Eleanor C sent in this photo, getting in all the Trine games on the Switch, including the excellent quad pack that is exclusive to Video Games Plus, highly recommended for sure. Dead Bunnies, the YouTube channel, sent in this photo picking up The Phantom, the first comic book hero, or something like that. Is the game any good? It looks a bit jank to me, but so do most beat-em-ups. Executive producer Dave Horworth sent in this photo with 2 Japanese Doraemon games. I don't believe either of them have English as far as I'm aware, but you know, they're often simple games for kids, so maybe you can get away with it. Executive producer Danielle O sent in this photo. She got in the collector's edition of Neptunia Rebirth 1, which is completely sold out. However, the second and third game still seems to be in stock, only 2,000 copies each though. Dangerous Dan sent in this photo with Magical Drop 4, one of Limited Run's worst ever selling games. So yeah, they've got a lot of stock in their warehouse, but whatever they do with it, it might end up being a bit of a collector's item in the future. Who knows how it's going to pan out. Dabro90 sent in this photo with a bunch of great games, although those Mario and Sonic Olympic games, that seems to have died as a franchise now. I thought they sold pretty well back in the day, but I guess not anymore, because there's not been any more recently. Executive producer Cartoon Soren showed off the alternative cover versions of Prison Princess, the double pack import. I don't know if they are official or what. Let me know, dude. Where are they from? I need to know for research purposes. Alright, let's have a roundup. Madhawk 110. Mason. Bill R. Cheaper Gamer. Rainbow Pickle Gaming. Kresalak. Miami Heat Fan 2003. Rick M. Needless Dragon. Matwell. Polaire TM. Martin. The Enemy Parasite. Alright, if you want to send in your pictures, the details are on the screen right now. As always, special thanks to my executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Punkinusta, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Thorn Metaluna, Vey, Instacritic, Precision Plague, Alex M, Feig, Josh Foot, Ishin, Lewis K, Kevin W, Jennifer M, Super Ben Julio, Double Dave, Hustwaite and Hallworth, Wixit, Sora Cat, The Nemo 6, Ghost Bune, G Bautista 100, Rose, Adamantium, Azrath, Jake Vap, D's Nuts, Jetta Crow, Brotorius, Surfacing for Air, Justin PDC, Vast Neon, Cookie Kid, Radio to Rancid, Danielle O, Switch Effect, Old Man Murphy, Cava Clavacol, Nerdy Sean, Ligma, Michael Del Polito, and Big Bruno. If you want to join them, the Patreon link is down below. It's the Let's Get Physical producer role. But if you don't want to, no worries. If you watched all the way through though, if you're still listening right now, what a legend you are. If you did watch all the way through, please leave me a wine emoji in the comments in honor of Wine Making Simulator and all the drunk mums out there. Go check out some of my other stuff. I got a lot of videos for you guys, a lot of good news, a lot of information that you might want to check out. Have a great day. Take care.